The big news today, and frankly yesterday as well, was the absolute beating that Tulsi Gabbard gave Hillary Clinton on Twitter. Now, for a bit of context, we need to go back and look at some statements that Hillary Clinton previously made about Tulsi Gabbard. Now, of course, Tulsi is in the progressive camp, not a part of the traditional Democratic Party elite, and her popularity is rising. It's rising among many of the alternative candidates for the Democratic Party, the ones that are outside the usual mainstream of the Democratic Party, like Bernie, etc. So what Hillary Clinton did was it basically accused Tulsi Gabbard of being a Russian agent or being groomed by Russian agents, because look at her positions. I stand against them, so therefore she must be a Russian agent. If this isn't a blatant attempt to sabotage progressive forces within the Democratic Party, what is? Basically, the Democratic Party, as funded by big business, just as the Republican Party is, see certain progressives coming into the political sphere, which will not necessarily follow all of the desires of the capitalist class. And those members of the capitalist class who fund the party don't want these people anywhere near the leadership, which is why we saw with the previous election Hillary Clinton stealing the election from Bernie Sanders. And then when that information was brought to light by a hacking that was allegedly without evidence being carried out by Russia, everybody focused on blaming Russia for the leak rather than what the leak actually exposed. And that basically tells you everything you need to know about the fake choice that you have under capitalism. Now, Tulsi Gabbard said some really, really fire stuff that really would have had to anger Hillary Clinton. Great. Thank you, Hillary Clinton. You, the queen of warmongers, embodiment of corruption and personification of the rot that has sickened the Democratic Party for so long, have finally come out from behind the curtain. Now, there are subsequent tweets that come after that which expand upon this, but you can go and see those for yourselves. The gist of what Tulsi Gabbard was saying was right in this particular tweet, and make no bones about it, she directly said it. She didn't do it in a very cowardly way like Hillary Clinton, implying that Tulsi was being groomed by Russia. She came out and said it right to Hillary in what is, I guess, the political equivalent of saying it to someone's face. Now, this is very interesting because this does show a very stark divide within the Democratic Party. Basically, we are looking at a situation where there are too many progressive forces inside the Democratic Party for them to tamp it down and make them vote for the established elite, which are hand-chosen by the capitalist class. And this is representing a very big fracture that could be very dangerous for the party. And I think what could very well happen here is that because of this division, the Democratic Party will end up sabotaging itself. In other words, the will of the people run completely counter, or the will of a section of the population are going to run counter to that of the capitalist elite. And that's going to fracture the party and could very well hand over the next election directly to Donald Trump and all the horrors that would entail. But I did want to say something else about this. I mean, obviously this is funny. I mean, this isn't just a blast of Hillary Clinton, because we've seen a lot of them by people in the mainstream political arena, but most of them being almost nonsensical or childish the way Donald Trump has done it. But this is something. This is really something. It is interesting to watch the progressive forces inside the United States denounce the wars and the queen of warmongers, which is absolutely correct. That is true. I mean, there's no denying that Hillary Clinton is a war hawk and almost basically a Republican in Democrat clothing. And that's my opinion. I'm sure that's probably shared by many other people as well. But for all of her bluster about Hillary Clinton being the queen warmonger, it's interesting that Tulsi Gabbard helped carry out that warmongering as a member of the U.S. military. I find that really, really interesting how many of these progressive forces will point to the leaders that actually give the orders for these war crimes, and then even point to the capitalist interests that profit off of this and outright need it to happen, and then of course pretend it's not capitalism that did it, and criticize them. But we'll never criticize the people who choose to go along with it and help carry out those crimes. So you definitely see that kind of liberalism is still well and alive inside the Democratic Party. If she's such a warmonger, and Tulsi Gabbard did what Hillary Clinton ordered, what does that make Tulsi Gabbard? And again, it's one of those fake choices. And of course, people usually reply with the, I was just following orders, which is only not a valid excuse when the Nazis use it. But when anybody else uses it, particularly the U.S. Army, then all of a sudden, well, yeah, I was just following orders. I can't say no. I mean, you can. It's just that the cost of not following orders is a lot less palatable than carrying out the crime that is the orders. But I digress. But this was something very significant. The significant thing here is that someone higher up within the Democratic Party, not necessarily that circle elite, but at least enough that they could give a run for the money for the leadership of the party, saying something like this to Hillary Clinton is certainly very significant. And this is possibly one of the most savage attacks that I've ever seen a Democrat make. And more importantly, it is one that is well deserved. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.